My name is Stacy Feifelski, and I am a Master's of Social Work student graduating this semester. I am here today to share with you my Capstone Project, the Practicing Resilience Conference. I had the opportunity to collaborate with Grand Valley State University and Family Futures to create a full-day conference for professionals and students in various fields of human services. This conference focuses on the long-lasting impacts of trauma and the importance of supporting resilience building for individuals, families, and communities. Before I dive more into the details of the conference, I'd like to explain some of the research that informed our decision to move forward with these efforts. Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, are potentially traumatic experiences that occur in childhood prior to age 18. In 1998, Dr. Vincent Folletti, Dr. Robert Onda, and their colleagues published the original ACEs study, which focused on 10 specific experiences of childhood adversity. These included all types of abuse and neglect, parental substance abuse, incarceration of a household member, domestic violence, parental mental illness, and divorce or separation within the family. In this groundbreaking study, the researchers determined that ACEs significantly impact adult health outcomes, and with 62% of adults reporting at least one ACE and nearly 1/4 reporting 3 or more, it is clear that this is an important area of study. I'd like to bring your attention to the tree infographic in the middle of this poster. Above the ground, the tree's trunk, branches, and leaves represent adverse childhood experiences. Underground, you will see deep roots that are intertwined and strongly implanted. These roots represent adverse community factors that significantly contribute to the presence of ACEs in children and in communities. These are things like poverty, community violence, and systemic racism. This infographic strongly demonstrates the correlation between this pair of ACEs that individuals, families, and communities face every day. The ACEs study by Folletti and colleagues was the catalyst for extensive research surrounding ACEs, trauma, and how to mitigate their impacts. Today, I'd like to share our efforts to continue to bring awareness and move toward action in these areas. The Practicing Resilience Conference will be held on April 14th, 2022 on the Pew campus of Grand Valley State University. It will be a full-day conference, complete with meal service throughout the day, where attendees will participate in a variety of sessions and activities to broaden their scope of knowledge about trauma and resilience, as well as opportunities to engage in thought-provoking conversation to raise individual and collective consciousness surrounding social justice issues in our communities. In her keynote address, Dr. Gwendon Duker will discuss the neurobiology and epigenetics of trauma, with additional focus on secondary trauma and its effects on our helping professionals. Additionally, Dr. Duker will focus on ways to build personal and organizational resilience using evidence-based practices. 2 continuing education units will be offered for nursing, education, and social work professionals for this session. After lunch, there will be 3 hours of breakout sessions with a variety of topics and activities. We will host a community panel where representatives from local organizations will discuss their efforts to use a trauma-informed approach and incorporate resilience practices into their work. 2 other breakout sessions will focus on specific resilience practices, including mindfulness, narrative writing, and movement exercises. These will include a review of the research, as well as opportunities to actually engage in these practices. We will also offer a session titled Trauma, Resilience, and Biology, a deep dive, which will be an in-depth description of how various body processes, such as epigenetics and neurodevelopment, are impacted by experiences of trauma and resilience practices. Our final session, Oppression is Trauma, Trauma is Oppression, will examine resilience using an anti-racist lens with a focus on ways to foster resilience while addressing the challenges of equity, justice, and entrenched structures of oppression. While we have many goals for this event, the immediate outcomes we hope to see include increased awareness of the impacts of trauma, of promoting resilience, and of focusing on strengths and protective factors in individuals, families, and our community. We hope that attendees will implement this information and these practices into their lives as students, as professionals, and as humans. Additionally, we hope to move beyond awareness and into action and encourage conversations at the micro, meso, and macro levels, asking, what's next? How do we begin to heal our communities? I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about the Practicing Resilience Conference. I encourage you to register if you're interested. You can do so by using the QR code at the bottom of the poster. If you have any questions or are interested in learning more about these efforts in Kent County, please feel free to reach out to me directly at fifelsks@mail.gvsu.edu. Thank you and take good care.